Hello, everybody.
There's another episode of the Chum Cam. You know why?
This one is going to be a
Yeah.
little bit different. This is Underwater Chum Cam. I'm going to narrate over this a little bit. And, oh, I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to drop you guys on your face. Yeah, hold on to your seats because we're going down here in a minute. See how I just put it right here next to the shoreline? This is a pond in my neighborhood. It's a neighborhood pond. And it's loaded with fish, all kinds of creatures. On sometimes the water is super murky, but on this day it was a little bit more clear than usual. So I was driving by, I was like, you know what? Let's do a cam episode. Immediately, what starts to show up? These little guys. These are all baby bluegills, baby brim, and they start annihilating it right off the bat. The thing I find fascinating about bluegills is a lot of people like to associate them as not very aggressive or whatever, but they're super aggressive. You'll notice that the watercolor changes. That's because there's overhead clouds, so sometimes the sun's able to come through, sometimes it's not. This is roughly about 3 feet of water, 3.5 feet of water. I also threw some chunks of bread in on top just to sink down, and that helps to spread the smell and start attracting the fish. And then what I do is I walk to my car and get away from everything so that they don't sense that I'm there. And I just chill off in the distance so that the creatures that live there can come out and, well, show themselves. It takes them a little bit, but once they realize, once they get that smell, once they start smelling the bread, and they'll start coming in. And once they sense that I'm not around, first large fish that comes, and you'll see him in the bottom right there, is a tilapia. He's just hovering in the distance. He's wary, but he'll come in a moment and show himself. Here he comes now. He's getting closer. He's like, I want some of that. I do realize this is a really long video, but I don't want to really edit these. I want to upload them in relatively entirely in their entirety. And reason for that is there he is. There they are. See the tilapia? They're coming in there. They finally. Now it's gonna start. Now that that sound, that brings even more in. And there's actually two tilapia right there. Those are Florida blue tilapia. Now, for size reference, that bread ball is about the size of my fist. So that gives you a sense of scale with the fish. There's a bass in the bottom right. It just showed himself. There's a bass in the background back there. He was swimming from the right to left. So bluegill, tilapia, and bass so far. That bass is still back there in the background. I can see his shadow. He's hovering in the distance. Here comes another tilapia. Now the bigger bluegill will start coming in. And they start destroying this thing. There's Mr. Tilapia. Here they come. I also enjoy listening to the sounds underwater. Every time they hit that thing, it just sends that vibration in the water. There's a big tilapia. He just got him. Look, big tilapia. Just bam. Here in a little bit, I think it's right around the 10-minute-ish mark, there's going to be a pond monster. He's going to come and he's going to absolutely wreck this thing. See how aggressive these bluegill are? Here's the big ones. Now they're starting to come in. They're all going to come in here and just start laying waste. Here comes Mr. Turtle. I just seen him on the bottom right there. Boom. That bluegill right there. I know they kind of look small, but that's a good sized bluegill. He's about the size of my hand. Boom. See that? That's just nuts. That's crazy. The mesh bag that I'm using is it's one of those bags that you do like a seafood boil with. It's a mono bag, it's mesh. Here's a turtle. These turtles drive me crazy because when they show up, they're ruthless. I believe that's a painted turtle, a slider, they call it. Red-eared slider. Yeah, that's a red-eared slider. But there's going to be a monster show up in a moment. And if you can recognize what this monster is, put it down in the chat. Because he's very elusive. There's only maybe one or two of these in this pond. And he shows up and he absolutely wrecks this thing. Watch this. Boom. He ain't done yet. He pulls the whole thing over. Now, mind you, I'm sitting in my car minding my business on the phone, and I look over and I don't see. You can see the bait ball from the car. You know, it's off in the distance, but you can see that little white ball. And I looked over and I didn't see it. I was like, what in the world? So I have to get out the car and come over and figure out what's going on. And that's when I discovered that monster, if you know what it is, put it down in the chat. It's a type of turtle. But I'll let you know as soon as I get this back up. There we go. I can come over and I was like, what in the world just happened? And I'm hoping that my camera's rolling. I don't know if it is or not. I just go ahead and leave it anyway. But that monster that showed up is a soft-shell turtle. And he probably weighs a good 25 pounds. He is big. His head is really large. Um, and actually really tasty. If anybody's ever eaten turtle, soft-shell turtle is really, really, really delicious. I'm not going to eat them, though. So we continue on with the annihilation of the ball. With all that, with all that happened just now, with that big soft shell showing up and me having to walk over there, it startled all the fish and they went away. But they'll be back. They always come back. So the bluegill are starting to come back. They're starting to filter through. You know what's crazy is I have the bottom of this chum cam thingy. It's weighted with about a pound of lead. So it weighs, in total, it probably weighs about 5 pounds. And that turtle was able to drag it down. Beast. Not much going on right now because everything's still kind of away. But here in a little while, they'll start coming back and they will finish it off. They eventually figure out a way to get inside and open the bag up, and then when they do, it's all over. There he goes. Now they're starting to open it up. Here they come. They're back to finish the job. That bluegill hit the camera. What in the world was that? Something big. Good. Well, I wish obviously you can see the camera's not centered anymore. That soft shell monster came in and destroyed it. I gotta fix that. Here they come. Most of it's out of frame, but it should hopefully. Boom. That's a big bluegill right there. Stud. Boom. See how destructive they are? Now they figured it out. And they got the bag. They're starting to rip the bag now. The reason why I used the tip of a fishing pole for this is I wanted it to have some flex. That was a big tilapia that came in and hammered it that time. He spit that bread out. Coming up to the end here. Also, if anybody has any suggestions about any areas or types of habitat that you'd like to see this chum cam used in, um, put it down in the comment section. Let me know. I do want to do some saltwater soon. I have done it a couple of times, but I really didn't get much of anything. It would you would think it'd be a lot more than what I, you know, did record. But I'm thinking about doing one soon over in Sebastian Inlet. If you don't know about Sebastian Inlet, it's a inlet here in Florida. It's on the east coast side, about midway, and it is an awesome place. People come from all over the place to go fish there. Yeah. They got the bag open and they're pretty much going to finish off the little last bit of morsels. And I remembered I was pushing into the 20-minute mark. So I decided to go ahead and end it. So it's right about now that I'm starting to get out of my car. Mr. Tilapia's back. He's in the background over there. I like how the bluegills come up to the camera and look at it and they, you know, see what's going on. They're like, hey, what's up? And this guy, there's no more for you, dude. But hey, we're coming up to the end. I appreciate you coming along and checking this journey out. Like I said, if you have any suggestions or places you want to see this used at, please let me know. Put it down in the comment section. This is Random J. I want to say thank you all. And until next time, I'm out. Oh, don't get dizzy now.